Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Cricket Nerds. All three of you nerds here today, no longer in a youth hostel, back in our homes, and we're talking about England versus India, which I don't know why, but England, even though they're chasing a mammoth score, I seem quite tense about the whole thing. I'm not sure why, because somehow you just know India are going to just absolutely hammer England in this. It seems like they're just going to wipe the floor with England. Their bowlers are really strong. ASHWIN, BUMRAH, a lot rests on their shoulders, but we've seen how well Kuldeep Yadav's bowling as well. So it just seems likely that India are going to win. So I'm interested to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Well, obviously we're going to talk about the day because Shubman Gill hit an amazing century. So let's get into that first. James, talk me through India's innings today.
Okay, so I'd say it was a relatively rocky start after a really strong bowling performance from Bumrah on day two, and Jaiswal and Rohit ending the day not out. Things were, looking very, very good for India. And then James Anderson, in his opening spell, bowled really, really well. He got Rohit Sharma out for yet another soft Rohit dismissal, which, that's probably a talking point in and of itself. And then he also got the massive wicket of Yashasvi Jaiswal. So things were a little bit shaky early doors for India. Obviously, they already had that massive lead of, was it 170 or 190? I can't even remember. It was a big lead. And then Shubman Gill just he stuck around, and I think that was the biggest thing for him because he's been in a little bit of a form drought. He hasn't been doing that well. I think it was 13 innings between his last century and this one. But it was a very, very similar story to basically all of India's innings, where one person has a really, really solid innings, and then the rest of them just kind of get starts, and that's
Yeah.
about it. None of
Someone
you.
like Shubman Gill, who is obviously a very classy player, sometimes when these players are going through these form slumps, sometimes they just need a little bit of luck to go their way. And there was an LBW shout early on, or earlyish on in his innings off Anderson, when Anderson was bowling incredibly well. And if the umpire had given it out and Shubman Gill reviewed it, he would have been out on umpire's call. But obviously the umpire gave it not out, and so he stayed not out on umpire's call. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, there's just watching Anderson bowl. It just makes me feel safe. I don't know why. He's just so good to watch, isn't he? Yeah, it was really nice. Benj, what did you
I
rate about England's other bowlers?
well, I just want to pick up on one thing because I'm not sure that it was a soft row hit dismissal. Like Anderson bowled an absolute jaffer.
Mm.
It was a proper swing bowler's seam. It was like the best wicket, angling in, pitches on off stump and nips away from the bat. I think Anderson that would have got any batter out in the world. So I'm gonna
Okay,
slightly
I
disagree
well,
with saying it was
I
a row hit soft dismissal.
to be honest, I saw it in real time, and I was like, that just looks like a waft. That's what it struck me as. But let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. I'm more than happy because obviously Anderson he bowls a lot of good balls,
Yeah.
so
What
sometimes you
I
can
saw it
make
as
very good
when
batters look a little bit average.
when I saw it, I thought that's vintage Anderson. That was what I saw. Anyway, that by the by, yeah, Anderson, as you say, that looked fantastic. He was a very safe bowler today, but a real props once again today to the spinners. And then today, particularly, it was Tom Hartley and Rahan Ahmed who were the two standouts for me. I think Bashir had his time in the first innings; he looked pretty good, but Tom Hartley, being able to get the vital wicket of Akshar Patel when he was looking a little bit dangerous. Um, Stokes, when he took the catch of Shreyas Iyer off Tom Hartley, what a catch. Full length dive. I think Shreyas Iyer is a bit unlucky that was actually that there was Ben Stokes, underneath that. Um, the one thing I thought to today, so I think Rahan Ahmed and Tom Hartley bowled fantastically. I did notice we didn't see a lot of Joe Root today, but I think that was because he injured his hand a bit. And so, because I saw a report earlier that was saying Root's expected to bat even though he's injured his hand. So it puts the game, I think, in a quite well poised position. Like there's something in the wicket for the spinners. If it hadn't have been for how England have performed in fourth innings chases in the last 2 years, I'd be like, this is India's game 100%. But while we still have wickets to fall, while England still have wickets to fall, there is always hope. Until that last 10th wicket fall, there will still be hope. And, tomorrow England have to go out there, score 332 runs in 2 days and not lose 9 wickets. I still think it's India's game to lose. They've got to take 9 wickets in 2 days. Realistically, it looks like it's in their favour. But Zach, you said this earlier. We just need to bat in partnerships. 40 per partnership is all we need.
So you said that if it was England a couple of years ago, you'd say 100% India. What would you say the percentage is now? Like, what's the split? I would personally go for about 80-20 in favour of India. What you guys
I think I was more 85-15
Hmm.
personally.
Okay.
I think 15 is even a bit generous and a bit optimistic because the pitch is going to deteriorate in day 4 and 5. But we have seen it before. What we need is a Joe Root century in the last innings.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Will it happen? We don't know.
I watched the Anderson interview after the day's play, and he said there's 180 overs left in the game. We're looking to chase it down in 60. And he was saying that in the dressing room, Brendan McCullum, before the day's play, was saying, even if we need to chase down 600, we're going to give it a go. So the fact that, and that sort of alpha move from Brendan McCullum just gives you that belief as an England player thinking, oh, we don't need to chase 400. Our coach wanted us to chase 600. Like that sort of thing is crazy. The kind of the mind games that Brendan McCullum's playing, really. But yeah, whether England will chase it in 60 or not, I do think it's going to be tough. I'm with you, James. I'm 80 in favour of India, 20 in favour of England at this stage. Because although I feel very safe watching James Anderson bowl, in a weird way, I feel safe watching England's top order bat. Like when Zach Crawley and Ben Duckett are batting, and I thought they had another really good opening partnership. They've hit 6 50-run partnerships in their last 7 innings together, or 5 in the last 6, or something like that. And that's something that England have been missing for a long time. That solid opening partnership, and it's really good to watch, and I'm really impressed by how they're going.
Yeah,
and
I want to
obviously
pick up on
Duckett's-
that actually.
Yeah, go for it.
Because we were talking about and I don't think it was on a podcast, but we were talking about how Ben Duckett he's failing to get like the big scores in the at least the last few games that he's played.
Yeah.
But he seems to be a very steady. If he's failing, he's getting 30 runs, and if he's doing okay, he's getting like almost 50. And that seems to just be the player that he is at the moment, and that's actually giving England a lot of security at the top of the order, because I back both Duckett and Crawley to generally get a 50-run partnership, regardless of the situation and the conditions at the moment. And Rahan Ahmed, obviously there's a small sample size, but at first class, he averages 31 and Zach Crawley averages 32. So you never know. Maybe this will be Rahan Ahmed's time to shine. He might thrive under the extra responsibility of batting at 3. Some might accuse him of being a night watchman or night hawk, but I just think it's a savvy promotion to number 3, a bit like Moeen Ali, and he's just going to be blooded into being a genuine all-rounder one day. That's what I hope. Anyway.
Right. He has been put in as a night watchman / night hawk, but
maybe.
But I would love to see Rahan Ahmed take the opportunity and get a big score, because again, it would just be great, wouldn't it? Whether it's going to happen or not, again, I'm just so nervous about tomorrow's play. I'm really hoping I don't wake up and it's 180 for 5, because that'll ruin my entire day tomorrow.
I think we know that the single most threatening bowler in that India lineup at the moment is Jasprit Bumrah. So the way that if England are going to capitalise on this 15 or 20% chance they have of winning. And even now that I say it, it does sound a little bit generous. I think England's batsmen will have to hit every other bowler sort of out of the attack to make Bumrah bowl as much as possible. That'll then tire Bumrah out. I think that's the only real way they can do it, because Bumrah at the moment he is extracting the most out of the pitch. He's the most dangerous. Obviously, Ashwin got that got the wicket of Duckett, but I think overall Bumrah has still looked the most threatening. He was beating the edge consistently.
Yeah.
What do India have to do to win?
Well,
I guess that's the big question, isn't it?
Take down wickets.
Yes.
There you go.
I think that there's a few things for India. The first thing is they have to field really well. I mean, England, for me, in India's first innings, on the first day, saved about 20 or 30 runs just from their fielding alone. And if India field well, that will put the pressure on England, because if their batters aren't getting the ball to the boundary through good shots, that will frustrate them. Another thing is not relying heavily on Bumrah. Although Bumrah is the danger man who can just pull a wicket out of nowhere, I still think Ashwin is the main player for India on that. As the ball starts to turn more, he's the main man. He's the leader of that spinning attack. He's closing in on 500 Test wickets, and he can work over a batsman. He can get them out that way. And Bazball is the sort of thing that won't really phase him. So yeah, for me, Ashwin's the key to India's success, because if England can get through a few Bumrah spells, we know he's not going to be able to bowl the same amount of overs as someone like Ashwin. So a lot rests on Ashwin's shoulders. Right. I think that's everything. So we're very excited to see what happens. Are we going to be waking up at 4 a.m. again? Probably. So yeah, we look forward to seeing what happens. Very excited. Hopefully you'll stick around as we keep giving our reviews for each day. We're committed to bringing these to you. If you've enjoyed, leave a like. If you aren't yet, subscribe. There's lots of things that you get from being a subscriber, especially if you're a member. If you become a member, you get loads of perks. So follow all the links in the description below. You can also follow us on social media. It's all there in the description. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.